vague pimp talk thing. And you could even see that Sauce Walker was getting frustrated with it by the end. And I feel like that's also why the Kevin Gates one didn't come out, is because it could have been a somewhat orderly conversation. Sharp could have very easily become like a beloved interviewer on this platform. He just would have had to show some restraint and be willing to do some research. Does this sound like anybody that you guys can think of with one arm? It's like, you got to do research if you want to do interviews. You got to be at least a little.
Listen, homie. He keeps trying to say that the Kevin Gates interview didn't come out, and don't make me call Gates, dog. I ain't even got to do that, because that don't even matter. We know the truth. That's really my people. Man, shout out to him and Alvina. Them are really my folks. You know, we did the interview in his backyard. Some of the questions that I asked him that I knew, I'm like, I'm really playing it no jumpers card. I'm really playing like in y'all boundaries of it. I'm like, I know I got to ask some of these questions. And some of the questions that I asked, they came back, they was like, look, can you take out this per Kevin Gates? Like, he don't want all this shit in there. And at the time, I you know, just to even give you like a little spoiler, I asked about the Gunna situation, you know, him being, you know what I'm saying, him knowing him, just whatever the case may be. We talked about it a little bit. They didn't want that shit on camera, straight up. And there was a few other things they didn't want on camera that were in the now at that time. He wanted to do a more spiritual interview. I'm like, we did that 100%. We killed it. We knocked that shit out. Straight up. I was at his house for 5 hours. This is my people, homie. I talked to him at 2 in the morning. I talked to Kevin Gates at 2 in the morning. I was at his house by 4 o'clock. I told him, let's do the interview. I'm talking to him. I get him into the mode of it. I tell him, man, we're going to move us on a spiritual journey through this. But I still tried to ask some of the questions I felt like, you know, would be, you know, required of me to ask. They didn't like none of them. And when I still tried to keep them in there, they just said, hey, he even told me, he's like, look, man, we'll just do it again. I just didn't feel like myself, Sharpie. He's like, that ain't what I want to put. Like, me and him, we talked. It don't even matter. Me and Gates talked about it, homie. That's my nigga. Me and him, we talk frequently. Despite whatever the fuck he feels and thinks.
Familiar with the subject matter.
Wait, so did Sharp ask Sauce Walker about like the Go Yayo beef at all? Did he talk about that?
Of course,
he
I
talk about the Go Yayo beef. Okay.
Like
so did he ask him about like his influence from going back to the DJ Screw days? And okay, no, he didn't.
You gotta do real research on this type of thing, because when I interview people like say,
listen, dog. Don't talk to me about DJ Screw days and a real great tape. I was banging the whole SUC. But that ain't what he wanted to talk about, homie. And I'm okay with that. I know about the whole screwed up clique, nigga. I was listening to great tapes, nigga, way back. And I wasn't just a nigga that sat there and listened to fucking June 27th. I was listening to all of them. Lil Kiki, Fat Pat, Al D. Yeah. That's Screw's brother. I was listening to all these niggas, homie. The f*** are we talking about? Do your research. I know all that shit. Ron up, man. Listen, homie, OG Ron C. He used to do all the fuck actions. And what the fuck action was, homie, it was just all like, it was all R&B. Slowed up. Now I was listening to Screw as a kid. What are we talking about? No, just knock it off. Do your research. He wanted to talk about that. Hey, that's cool. Let's talk about it. He had some other things on his mind. Obviously, when he walked in and he talked to you, all he had to do, shit, he had nothing but things to roast you about. And why he didn't want to sit down with you. Screw music, man. Real slow tape, nigga. I was listening to all that grilled up, nigga, young. First song I ever did, and all my homies, niggas that can even vouch for this, nigga, was Screwed Up. Nigga was not even screwed up because you would have to be, your shit would have to be done by Screw to be called Screwed Up. But I've had slow tapes. Straight up, and that's being respectful, homie.
Throw me a name and I'm not familiar, the first thing I do, nigga, type them in on YouTube or go to they Reddit or just type they name in on Reddit, see fan narratives. Like
me and this nigga Sauce was talking way before what anything these niggas was talking about. Me and this nigga was having conversations on the phone. Me and him had an hour conversation on the phone. I've been plugged in with them for the longest. I've had his artists on the channel.
said